Neredesiniz lan siz? Neredesiniz lan?
Our orchard is gearing up for harvest season, with every tree loaded with ripe, juicy fruit. The whole town was counting on a bumper crop this year, but things took an unexpected turn. Feral hogs kept charging in, wrecking our fruit and stomping through our fields. As the destruction piled up, we had no choice but to organize a series of hard-hitting hunts to save our crops. With years of know-how, we picked up the hogs' trails fast. Our crew moved quick, setting up a tight ambush perimeter. The thundering sound of hooves echoed as the hogs barreled right into our trap. My team and I fired round after round, each shot dead on, dropping the targets instantly. No time for high fives. We stayed locked in as more hogs came rushing in waves. These hogs were huge, fast, and nimble as all get out. But even with their speed, they couldn't outrun the business end of our rifles. This orchard stretches across dozens of acres, so we split into small squads to set up checkpoints. Hunting these hogs was no walk in the park. Even with steady aim, we sometimes missed, letting a few slip through. Our trusty hunting dogs were absolute rock stars. The hogs got flushed out under pressure, giving us clear shots to take them down clean. The hunt was getting wilder and more intense. This was the thrill we lived for. Our ambush and surround strategy kept proving its worth, time and again. The hound's barks rang out loud and clear as I raised my rifle. Locked and loaded. Boom! One shot, one hog down in a flash. When the shooting stopped, the orchard went quiet again. But don't let the silence fool you. Danger was still out there. We stayed on high alert, and even with all our caution, sometimes a hog would bolt in a split second, leaving us kicking ourselves for missing. By noon, we called it quits for the morning hunt, rounded up our game, and headed home. That afternoon, we hit the nearby cornfield, letting the hounds loose to track down more hogs. Their barks got my blood pumping. I kept my cool, squeezing the trigger the second a hog crossed my path. In a heartbeat, it dropped, ready for the dogs to claim. The hounds kept barking deep in the cornfield as I pushed through thick, sharp stalks to find them. My pulse was racing, the tension building like the hog was just steps away. Then I spotted it. No hesitation. I raised my rifle and fired. The hog stumbled but kept going. I closed in and fired again, this time dropping it for good. Chasing these hogs wore us out, but the rush of victory was worth every second. As a farmer and a hunter, I'm always looking for the best ways to protect my land. Instead of griping about the hogs tearing up my corn, I took matters into my own hands with hunting, a practical way to keep their numbers in check. Come along as we dive into this adventure and see what's next. After a few minutes scoping out the terrain, our sights finally locked onto a feral hog. It was strolling along, clueless that it was in our crosshairs. The range wasn't perfect, but I decided to try my luck with a long shot. My rifle was ready, just waiting for the perfect moment. Soon after, the hound's angry growls echoed through the woods, letting us know something was close. The noise was coming from a thick patch of brush just ahead. I crept forward, rifle at the ready. One clean shot dropped the hog in its tracks. The hunt got wilder as we crossed another ridge and ran into a huge herd of feral hogs. Their sheer size was enough to get any hunter's blood pumping. We couldn't pass up the chance and open fire as a team. But those quick hogs scattered, disappearing into the brush. Only a couple weren't fast enough and hit the ground for good.
Neredesiniz lan? Neredesiniz lan?
No way we were giving up that easy. We doubled down, chasing the herd without hesitation. We signaled our buddies to block the escape route, a classic move that never fails. The second a hog's shadow popped up, my partner fired, nailing the leader dead in its tracks. A storm of bullets followed, throwing the herd into chaos, but some still couldn't outrun their fate. Luck was on our side as another pack of hogs showed up out of nowhere. Not missing a beat, we reloaded and kept firing. But these hogs were slick, dodging through the brush like pros, and before we knew it, they were gone, leaving just echoes in their scent.
Gördüm. Atabilirsin.
Must be introduced to scent trails.
Gördüm.
The feral hog population around here is off the charts. They move in big groups and haul tail like nobody's business. Even with all our shooting, the number we took down barely scratched the surface of their massive numbers. Heading down a narrow trail toward the mountain's base, we caught some odd rustling in the bushes. I didn't think twice and pulled the trigger. The shot cracked loud, and my heart raced with the adrenaline of that split-second call. The hunt came to an end, and we looked back at what we had been through. A long, exhausting day, but one filled with meaning. Wait. However, as the sun slowly set behind the mountains, I realized something. What we're facing isn't just the story of our own village. All around the world, from farms in the United States to the dry plains of Australia and the forests of Europe, people are fighting the same enemy. Wild boars, an invasive species that's wreaking havoc on ecosystems across the globe. From Texas to Florida, From remote swamps to sprawling national forests, farmers and communities are facing an enemy no one ever wants to encounter. It's not wolves, bears, or any of the usual predators. It's wild boars, one of the world's 100 most dangerous invasive species. These animals don't just destroy crops, they wreak havoc on the environment, hunt native wildlife, and even threaten human safety. So how are American farmers and their counterparts in Australia fighting back against this menace? Let's find out. Wild boars are not native to the United States or Australia. They were brought over from Asia and Europe through expeditions and trade hundreds of years ago. At first, they were raised on farms, but over time, many escaped, reproduced, and adapted to the wild. Today, their population in the U.S. has surpassed 8.3 million, spreading across 39 states. In Australia, they occupy 45% of the country's territory. Without proper control, their numbers could increase by as much as 86% in just 1 year. With extraordinary reproductive rates, strong health, and exceptional adaptability, wild boars have become one of the greatest ecological and economic threats of our time. In the United States, the damage caused by wild boars is estimated at $25 billion each year, from destroying crops and infrastructure to preying on native wildlife. In Australia, the figure is about $106.5 million annually. Wild boars don't just feed on grains and vegetables. They also dig up soil, damage irrigation systems, and destabilize fragile ecosystems. In Australia, they have negatively impacted 148 threatened plant and animal species. In some cases, aggressive wild boars may even attack humans, raising serious public safety concerns that authorities must address. Wild boars are also carriers of many dangerous diseases, from African swine fever to swine flu. If such outbreaks spread within their massive population, Australia's economy could lose up to $50 billion over the next decade. This is a scenario no country wants to face. Controlling wild boars is not only the responsibility of farmers, it is a national and global issue. The U.S. and Australian governments encourage farmers and hunters to take direct part in controlling feral pigs. According to researchers, to curb their rapid reproduction, at least 70% of the population must be removed each year. Two main methods: trapping, hunting with firearms. Trapping. The first step is to identify areas where feral pigs usually gather. They prefer to live near shallow rivers, streams, swamps, or the edges of dense forests. Key signs include large, wet tracks and deep, frequent rooting. Once an ideal spot is found, farmers scatter bait such as corn, vegetable scraps, or molasses. Important, don't use up all the bait at once. If pigs arrive and find no food, they'll leave and may not return. After 1 to 2 weeks of consistent feeding, the pigs develop a habit of visiting regularly, becoming more confident and less cautious. This is the perfect time to set the trap. Modern traps are built with walls at least 1.5 meters high. At first, the gate is left open so pigs get used to the enclosure. Then an automatic trigger mechanism is installed. With smart traps, users can monitor the pigs remotely via phone or computer and activate the trap at just the right moment. A single trap can capture up to 50 pigs at once. But traps alone are not always enough to keep the explosive growth of feral pig populations under control. That's when humans must face them directly, through hunting. Hunters step into a dangerous game. Feral pigs are nothing like gentle deer. They're aggressive, cunning, and can turn back to attack at any moment. Their sense of smell is incredibly sharp. Even a faint breeze carrying human scent is enough to scatter the entire herd. That's why hunters must approach against the wind, moving slowly and patiently, like true predators. By day, forests and open fields become the battlefield. But at night, things grow even more intense. Darkness is the ally of feral pigs, but also a challenge for hunters. With infrared scopes and night vision gear, hunters track every snapped twig, every shadow shifting between the trees. One wrong shot and the pigs can charge at speeds of up to 25 miles per hour, their sharp tusks capable of piercing flesh. Many hunting groups also bring along trained hounds. The brave dogs charge ahead, driving the boars in one direction and giving hunters the chance to pull the trigger. The barking, the pounding footsteps, and the gunfire all blend together, turning the forest into a true battlefield. And in vast areas where wild boars reproduce out of control, another method comes into play, hunting by helicopter. Imagine sitting in a helicopter, doors wide open, the wind howling past your ears. Below, herds of wild boars scatter in a frantic stampede across the vast fields. From above, hunters wield semi-automatic rifles, aiming and firing as if in a first-person shooter game. But this is reality, and every shot is meant to protect crops and preserve the ecosystem. A single helicopter hunt can cost up to $4,000, but the results are unmatched. In just a few hours, dozens of boars can be taken down. This isn't just an adrenaline-fueled experience for seasoned hunters. It's also a strategic weapon in the fight against this invasive enemy.
This is a field.
And yet, wild boars still reproduce faster than humans can control. They're spreading everywhere, from the vast fields of Texas to the humid forests of Florida, from Australia's dry outback to the plains of Europe. Every bullet fired, every trap set, it's just one move in a never-ending war. Farmers, hunters, and governments are forced to stand together because this is no longer anyone's fight alone. It's not just the US or Australia. Europe is facing a nightmare of its own. There was a time when wild boars nearly disappeared, but now they've come back stronger than ever. In France, the population has surpassed 1 million, nearly doubling in just 10 years. In Russia, around 400,000 are spread across the European region. They're even showing up inside cities, from Berlin to Madrid, from Warsaw to the Italian countryside. The reasons? Warmer winters, fewer natural predators, and newly planted forests that have become a paradise for their reproduction. European governments have been forced to take action. Hunting seasons have been legalized, and permits are widely issued. In countries like France and Germany, the season can last up to 10 months, or even year-round. Hunters often rely on the batida tactic, a coordinated drive where the group makes noise to flush the boars into the open, where marksmen are already waiting. Once again, hunting dogs become loyal allies, tracking the scent and driving the boars straight into the trap. Many farmers are even trained in professional trapping, with courses costing about $1,620 each. Modern traps, with walls 1.5 meters high, can capture 50 to 60 animals at once. The main targets are breeding sows in order to slow the explosive growth of the population. From the US to Australia, from Europe to the smallest farmlands, the war against wild boars continues every single day. They are among the most dangerous invasive species, threatening crops, the environment, and even human safety. But the big question remains, are traps and guns the only solution? Or do we need a more sustainable way to stop this ecological disaster? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you found this video engaging, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so we can keep uncovering shocking truths about the natural world around us.